Good morning. We're in the sixth section of Psalm 119, the sixth letter of the alphabet. I had to look it up. A Vav is how I'm instructed to pronounce it. I'm not an expert in Hebrew. I'll read it for you now. May your unfailing love come to me, Lord, your salvation according to your promise. Then I can answer anyone who taunts me, for I trust in your word. Never take your word of truth from my mouth, for I have put my hope in your laws. I will always obey your law forever and ever. I'll walk about in freedom, for I have sought out your precepts. I will speak of your statutes before kings and will not be put to shame. For I delight in your commands because I love them. I reach out for your commands, which I love, that I may meditate on your decrees. I want to comment just on this verse 45 here. There is a way in which perhaps a part of the culture sees something like the Christian faith as being very restrictive, with a long list of things you cannot do, and you should not do, and you ought not to do. The culture probably would think it's a shaming culture of Christianity. There is a way in which perhaps all of us have experienced Christianity as that. I was raised, with the silly saying, don't drink, smoke, or chew, or go with girls that do. It's amazing that I can still remember that. I don't remember anybody ever teaching me that, but it still rings, right? There was kind of a buttoned-up approach to my Christianity that, as a child growing into a teen, thought of Christianity in the same way, that it takes things away from me. It just restricts my life. I love this word here about walking. I will walk about in freedom, for I've sought out your precepts. I've come to gain at least some understanding that really what God provides for us as he instructs us is the path of flourishing. When Jesus talked about life and life to the full, I've come that they may have life and life to the full, it wasn't tongue in cheek. I don't believe that Jesus saw himself as taking anything away. I think he saw us leading into the best paths of living, of human flourishing. You look at that Sermon on the Mount, and if you could learn to live out the things that are described there, a kingdom kind of life, you would see if I was really free from anger and free from lust and free from worry and free from judgment. I don't know anybody that's free from those things. But if Jesus can lead me into the kind of life that does free me from those things, so I don't have to judge, and I don't have to worry, and I don't have to secure my own identity, well, I want that life. And so in some ways, God's law, his instruction, his will, Jesus' teaching, does give me the right way to look at this world. But in some ways, it frees me from so much more than anything it restricts me from. So if I learn faithfulness to my spouse from Jesus, does that mean my freedom is restricted from having intimacy with lots of other women? Sure it does. What does it gain me, though? Well, it gains me the potential for human intimacy, for truly knowing one person deeply, for trust, for never, ever having to think about her or her thinking about me in that way, as to not being trustworthy. That's freedom. I think the way of Jesus is a way of freedom, and I think it's something to be celebrated, and I think it's something to be remembered. We remember together all that Jesus gives us, that full and abundant life, as we learn to listen to him, learn from him, and apply what he teaches us. Grace and peace to you today.